Let's start in Ottawa with more on the Major Projects Office. The CBC's Olivia Stefanovich is on that part of the story. And Olivia, what do we know about this office and who will be running it?
Well, Andrew, this is a highly anticipated announcement, making good on a promise that the Liberals made during the last federal election campaign when the Prime Minister promised that he would create such an office. So it is launching today, Andrew, and the federal government has named Dawn Farrell as the CEO. Now, she's a former energy and electricity executive who recently was the head of the Trans Mountain Corporation. And during her time there, she oversaw the expansion of the Trans Mountain Pipeline, the only crude oil pipeline connecting Alberta to the West Coast. And now she will be the head of this new federal office that will oversee and help the government fast-track projects deemed in the national interest. Now, Farrell, her head office is going to be based in Calgary, as you mentioned, and that is significant. It's an indication that the federal government wants to work closely with Western Canadians on these projects of national interest, whether they be new rail lines, clean infrastructure initiatives, or anything like that that may be pitched to this office going forward. Now, all of this is happening in the midst of this trade war with the U.S., so Canada can become less reliant on the Americans and find new markets for their goods as well, and to work with other countries to make Canada's economy stronger, Andrew.
And so, Olivia, tell us more about what this office is actually going to do.
Well, this is supposed to be the central place in the federal government for these projects of national interest and for the efforts to fast-track these projects. So there's two purposes here, and one is to streamline the regulatory approval process. What that means is that this office will work with provincial and territorial governments on one single set of conditions that these projects have to meet to be approved, one environmental review, for example. And it will also work on financing these projects, so coordinating financing, structuring the financing. We have fresh reaction to bring to you from Alberta Premier Danielle Smith, who reacted to news of Dawn Farrell being named CEO. Let's have a listen.
I can tell you I have great respect for Dawn Farrell. Not only did she take over a very difficult situation with getting Trans Mountain Pipeline to the finish line successfully, I might add, but she also has an incredible career in corporate Calgary with TransAlta, and I count her as an advisor. So I'm very pleased that the Prime Minister and I have something in common, that he's going to count her as an advisor as well. And I think it is important that they've then made the decision to headquarter it in Calgary.
So a positive reaction there from Alberta's premier. We are hearing a different sort of reaction from the Conservative leader, Pierre Poilievre, who reacted to this announcement earlier today. Let's listen to what he had to say about the work this office will do going forward.
These big projects should not require tens of billions of dollars of taxpayer-funded subsidies. They are normally very profitable all by themselves. They get built all around the world by business because they are profitable. But here in Canada, we have the second slowest the Liberals have provided the second slowest building permits in the developed world and among the highest taxes. So nothing can get done on its own without massive government handouts and bailouts. We don't want a handout and bailout economy. We want a paycheck and production economy.
So this new Major Projects Office is supposed to address those concerns, and the federal government says that it will not be financing all of these projects. Instead, this office is supposed to work with proponents that pitch these projects, address any concerns that may come up. There is going to be an Indigenous Advisory Council named later next month to address any concerns that come from those communities, and it will work with these proponents to streamline this process and to find investment from the private sector going forward. And we should know, Andrew, within the next 2 weeks, what these new projects may be. The Prime Minister has promised to name some of these projects within that timeline. And Mark Carney has already indicated that he is interested in seeing the Port of Montreal expanded and for there to be a new port created in Churchill, Manitoba.
Olivia, thank you. The CBC's Olivia Stefanovich live in Ottawa.